Today's video, we're going to cope with that person in your life that would never talk to Alexa. They'd sit in a room without the telly on, so it was quiet, and they still wouldn't talk to Alexa even if the lights were off. So today's video, we're going to solve that with one of these. So let's roll the credits and put some lights on and get straight into it. So the first thing we need to do is put this into the server. So let's go and do that. So my server is a Proxmox server. So I'm just going to stick this, of course the wrong way around, in the front. Oh no, it's not the wrong way around. There we go. That's that in the hole. Right, so I've got Proxmox, as I said, so I need to find on Proxmox my Home Assistant server, and I need to add a device. So we go into hardware, we click on add, and we click on USB device. Okay, I think you can use other ones of these. Well, let's try the top one. There's nothing there, there's no particular, but let's do the use. That's the one I normally use, and I know it's that one there. And we click add, and that'll add the device. Now there's good news and bad news. Now the good news is it's added it. The bad news, I probably need to restart Home Assistant to make it happen. Now I can do that straight from here, so let's go reboot, and I'll be back when it's rebooted. So when you've plugged your USB key in, we need to go and find it. To do that, we need to go down to settings, down to system and hardware. And this is quite interesting. You've never been in here before. It shows you processor use and memory use and stuff like that going forward. But we're going to go to system hardware, and we're going to scroll all the way down to event. Okay, so as you can see, these are those wireless remote things. And for some reason, it always seems to add more than you actually need. Luckily enough, mine is the first one, but they're all very similar. And the bit you want is the device name /dev input event 3. If it's managed to get a home on event 4, event 4. What you then need to do is pick up the information that I put in the description, and going into your configuration.yaml, you need to add this right at the very bottom, and device descriptor needs to have that number at the end. So mine's a 3. You then need to make sure it's saved, and then you do need to do another restart. If things have gone horribly wrong, when you go to do a restart, let's do it in Developer Tools, restart Home Assistant. Here it will come and say, there's a problem, you've done it wrong. So you might need to go back and fix it. So let me do a restart, and I'll be back when that's done. Right, starting back up again, and I'm in the right place because we kind of need to test it now. So what we need to do is we're going to listen for events, and the one we're going to listen to, I've done this before, as you can see, is keyboard remote command received. I've put that in the description too. So I need to press start listening, and then what I need to do is press a button on the remote. So I've pressed number 0 down. So 0 is 82. Now there's a bit of jiggery pokery that goes on here, because if I press numlock and then press 0 again, it does it 3 times. So what it does is, there's the 82 for 0, but it holds 69s around the outside of it. So you need to make sure that you know where you are. The 69 on my keyboard seems to be numlock is pressed down. So if I press number 1, we got a couple more. So 79 must be. So the best way I found this is to clear the events kind of in between and start listening again, so you get to know what's what. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through this and then you can see what's what. Right, so we're all set up now, so we need to make it work. So what we need to do is go down to settings, automations and scenes, and create a new automation. I'm going to create a new automation. Now we're going to add a trigger. Now these are events, so you need to type event, and it's a manual event received, and the event type is this again. The event data is these. Okay, so you might need to change event 3. I'll put this in the description, and you will need to change the key code. So that's made the trigger happen. So then once we've got a trigger, we can add an action, and I'm going to add an action from downstairs. I'm going to add an action from the living room. I'm going to add an action from lounge lights. Oh, let's just expand this out a bit more. And the fireplace light, and I'm going to toggle it. Okay, so what I need to do now is press a key, and it's been triggered, and it switched the fireplace light on behind me. As you can see, it kind of gets triggered straight away. So one of the things it's worth doing here is adding a note, and AE3 is delete key pressed. Okay, and we can add another trigger, and it's going to be an event, a manual event received, event type of the same thing. Oh, I missed a D. Event data. Okay, and this time I'm going to put 82, which is the 0 key. Okay, so we've got that in. Now what we need to do now is add a note. Okay, but we need to put, because these are all running together, down below in actions, we need to work out what we're going to be doing. So the way we do that is we add an ID, and we'll call this zero key, and then for this one we'll add an ID, and we'll call this full stop key. Okay, right, I'm going to save it now, and I'm going to call it remote. Okay, so in our actions, we need to put some blocks. So we're going to need to put choose, so which way we're going to go. And the options we're going to choose, the first condition is going to be triggered by, and triggered by the full stop key. Add an action, downstairs, living room. So we could open the lounge curtains. Let's go for that. Oh, we could even toggle. Okay, so if I press the full stop key, it's going to toggle the curtains. So add an option, add condition, triggered by, there it is. We use the 0 key, and we'll add an action. Now let's just put a light in here. Let's put what I had before. Downstairs, living room, lounge lights, lounge main, toggle light. Okay, I'm going to save it again so we're all ready to go. So I've got keys that when I press 0 and full stop, decimal point, things will happen. If I go back so you can see the top, and press key, and as you can see, I've managed to press both keys and switch the light on and off. There we go. Now, in my example, I switched the television on and off. Now to do that, I've done another video. If you look up there, there is a way of using ZB to MQTT to control your telly with a little device. Okay, I think that's enough today. I've kind of shown you what's possible and what's going on here. I'll put a link to a keypad on Amazon, which is like this one, and I will get a little bit of commission if you buy it. It's another useful way of getting people who don't want to talk to Alexa or Google Home or whatever to get things to happen. It's just a keypad, and you can stick labels to the keys. You could do it lots of different ways. So like I said, that's it for today, and I'll see you on the next one, unless you want to watch this one or this one. I'll see you on the next one.